This is Group 6. We did the reading on Le Corbusier's Ruin, The Changing Face of Chandigarh's Capital by Vinayak Barn. This is a critical look at modernism's legacy in post-colonial India. One idea from this reading was the modernist utopia versus post-colonial reality. Le Corbusier's design symbolized progress nationally, but ignored local context. This extensive use on plazas, areas of the cities where he just wanted to redo everything and create a new dawn for Chandigarh. This was not thoughtful because of the environment, and placing all this concrete in a very hot tropical climate basically allowed for so much heat absorption that people do not want to gather at these places where he thought life would thrive, like in European civic squares. One of the quotes is, "Not that no one visits this isolated northern part of the city. They do, in fact, in droves. They just do not come to the capital. Instead, they go next door to the fantastic world of Nek Chand's rock garden. People of all ages from all over journey through its tenuous labyrinth with birds, beasts, and figurines made of everything from broken bulbs and laboratory flushes to beer bottles. The garden is something everyone happily associates with. It boasts a public magnetism the forlorn capital can only aspire to." The next idea is the capital is a living ruin, a term to be defined as patina of time, where this is basically the visible marks of aging and adaptation that challenge modernist ideals of pure form. Barnes basically is saying that among these streets and areas, modernism is just thrown in, such as being thrown on top of the facades, as you can see in the picture from the right, and that basically there's a symbolic shift here that's taking place and showing that there's more bureaucracy and being put into these places without it being thought from the get-go, as you can see from those HVAC units on top of that facade. Little thought is put into the preservation versus adaptation debate, as these spaces are mostly unresolved to this day. A quote is, "A thick green jungle shrouds Le Corbusier's uninterrupted plain of 50s. The assembly and high court nestle in this green blanket like ancient temples of a lost civilization, with the open hand and the geometric hill like altars of an antediluvian cult. While the dramatic juxtaposition of nature and aging concrete does indeed recall William Curtis's Poetic of the Capital as a colossal grave, a dignified ruin. One wonders what Le Corbusier would have thought of this seemingly lost world entombing the values of another time."
The quote reads, "The open hand stands isolated, its sunken plaza conceived for public debate, perpetually silent and brooding." What this really says is that Le Corbusier's grand vision of the open hand as a space for democratic dialogue never became a reality. Instead of it being a thriving hub for public engagement, it now stands empty, cut off from the people it was meant to serve. Political tensions, shifting priorities, and social realities ultimately weakened the ideals behind the design. Now on to the key ideas. Over time, public engagement faded. Parts of the vision were never completed. The governor's palace and the open hand monument were either delayed or never built at all. Additionally, rising terrorism in the 1980s brought strict security measures, making the capital even less accessible. After the deaths of both Le Corbusier and Prime Minister Nehru, the momentum to fully realize the plan disappeared. The division of Chandigarh between the states of Punjab and Haryana added another layer of complexity, further disconnecting the capital from civic life. Additionally, from the reading, this quote, "Today, the questions of what was envisioned, what was realized, conjure deep, complex dialogues. This isn't just about unfinished buildings, but it goes to show it's about the loss of a democratic dream that was once so central to the city's purpose."
As an ever-evolving city and cultural development project in the post-colonial India, Le Corbusier's The Capital remains a sociological and cultural dilemma for both city officials and citizens. Despite the government's restrictions of the site, there are still efforts to continue developing the city, such as building the Museum of Knowledge in celebration of the city's 50th anniversary in 1999. However, there were also talks of transforming the site into a cricket stadium by architect Lawrence Neal. But after a meeting with several architects within the conference, the plan would be to continue the design of the museum. The other architects in the conference said that they concluded, among other things, that Le Corbusier's original design for the governor's palace was far more appealing than its reincarnation in the Museum of Knowledge. In their mind, it would have transcended Le Corbusier's cult. Unfortunately, this plan never came to fruition. After 2 decades of public restrictions, the Open Hand organization managed to lift the ban in 2010 for all social gatherings within the capital. After much rejoicing, this led to the question of who owns the capital. It was a grand opportunity to redefine the city as its new symbol. For many years, the building has been fabricated as a symbol of Le Corbusier's legacy, but now its citizens can actually use its building as intended without the need to put a wire fence around it. Envisioned by a great leader, conceived by a great architect, and thrust upon the infant consciousness of a born-again nation. With this notion, the people's consciousness seems to have accepted a remnant of the colonial past, but has transcended into a modern India, which is also an ever-evolving nation. But in a sense, the capital not to be seen as a relic, but as a seed of a larger evolving vision that will be tested, appropriated, and completed by generations to come. And yet they are still unsure if they are ready to redo the site or keep it as is. Just as the previous generation has struggled 50 years ago, they have the potential to start a new path or to stay too true to their colonial history and their legacy for Le Corbusier. Thank you very much.